Hello! Welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wiggo, and today I'm excited because I'm going to be unboxing the Trails Through Daybreak limited edition box set. Oh yeah, it's here. And I'm also going to do the review. Wait, you told us you only do reviews after you finish the game. That's right, because while I haven't opened the box yet, I did get the digital version of the game on July 5th, and I have been playing it for like 70 hours. I'm not quite finished, but I'm pretty much far enough along that I can give you a pretty good review. Unboxing, review. What about the long story you always tell? I already told that story. And if you go watch this video here, I tell you about the 10 games preceding this one in the Trails of series, which is all part of the Legends of Heroes series. Oh, it's so complicated. So since there's no long story, we're going to get right into the unboxing, and then I'll put some chapter stops in there for the different components so you can skip ahead, because if you watch my last unboxings, you know it takes me a while to get through these. And then after all those chapters will be my review. And I'll just give you a hint right now. It's a good review. I love this game. Well, let me explain. Well, first let me unbox. As I explained in this video, the Trails of series, well, the Legend of Heroes, which actually started before Trails, but the Trails of series is so far was 10 games. This is the 11th. The 12th one is already out in Japan and is currently being localized and will probably get here next year. And if you stay for the review, I'll explain why it takes them so damn long to localize them, and you'll see, oh, well, yeah, if I had to translate that much text, I'd take a while too. This is the box set, $99 without plushies. You can get it with add-on plushies. I think that's like another $70 or $80. It comes in this lovely box, which I had upside down. And, ooh, look at this nice little slip cover. So there's the cover of the box. And the side and the back. That image is in the game for sure. Let's see what's in the box. Of course, the main thing, as always, is the actual physical copy of the game. And as I told you in the intro, I already bought the digital version, so I don't really need this, but... And I think I explained in this video back over here that I buy as many versions of these games as I can. I want to just keep buying them up. I want to keep their sales up because I want them to keep making them. I don't think they're going to stop since we're on 11. But what if they did? This story is not done, not by a long shot. The disc comes with a digital soundtrack, and the music's very good. I'll explain that in the review. A little mini art book. Well, let's look at that briefly. It's pretty mini. Most characters only get a page, and then there's a bunch of pictures. Not so great. This thing I love about, there's two covers. There's this cover, which is the one it came with, but then you can invert it and do this cover. That's why they do this cover, because it has all the fine print. This one's just prettier, so I'm going to put the prettier one in there. Put my digital art book and digital soundtrack back. So that was the first thing in the box. The next thing, oh, they go, the steel cases. They do really nice steel cases. I won't explain who these people are, because no spoilers. Oh, and then there's on the inside, and so, and you can take all the stuff out of here and stick it in here and put the disc in here. It's a nice little steel case. What's next? I don't know what's next. What have we here? Ah, we got a digital soundtrack that you could download with a code, but here's a real live compact disc. Let's look at the track list on the digital. So you have the same songs. You get them digitally when you buy the game hard copy, but in the box set you actually get a CD in a lovely little case, a little Zifa case. It's from the game. Then we have the real art book. Oh, check it out. Roused from Reverie, which was the last game, at Daybreak's Light. Explain the world, and they have a timeline here. Look at these cars. I mean, we've got sports cars and SUVs and pickup trucks and race cars and motorcycles, trucks, tanks, emblems, characters. We're still in the character list. Lots of sub-characters, and I mean lots. Then we have movie posters and movie scene images, and now we just have a bunch of pictures, character data files. This is a heck of an art book. I mean, now we're getting into character diagrams for lesser characters. I've seen all these people, but I didn't remember them. Man, there's just so many of them. And then we have a section of illustrations. Yeah, 242 pages. That's an art book. But wait, there's more. Comes in this little thing so it'll fit into the case. But I believe, oh my goodness, it's a card case for business cards. That is one of the things that happens in this game, is that the main character, whose last name is clearly Arkwright, hands out business cards to a lot of people. Well, apparently this is his little card case. It's not bad, it's metal. And then finally, this is the end of the box set. So these are movie posters for movies in the game. They aren't real movies. You go to the movies in this game, but the movies are like a minute. You get to see like the climactic scene, and that's it. And a lot of it's just like a picture with some voices over it. But this is one of the movies, Gloria, Dawn of the Revolution. It's the story of the founder of the Calvert State, Republic of Calvert. Golden Blood. This one figures quite prominently in the plot. They talk about it a lot. Sober Curious, Perfect Driver. I can tell you the story, but I don't remember the name of this movie. And then Rainfall, which actually I don't think I've seen that one in the game yet. But these are the replica little movie posters. And you actually see these posters in the game, like at the movie theaters. So that's kind of a cool little thing. Now the game by itself is $60. So this is $59.95. So this is like $40 more. And for the $40 more, you get the art book, the business card case, the movie posters, and the soundtrack CD, and the Steelbook. So it's up to you. I thought it was worth it. But of course, that's me. And y'all know I'll spend money on anything. Well, that's the unboxing. I'll find a place for it up on the shelves behind me. Well, that's the box set. I like it. Let's get to the review. By the way, it's my birthday. When this video drops is my birthday. So this is my little birthday present from NIS America, and it's a great birthday present. Again, the game was released on July 5th, and I started playing. Actually, there's a demo, a PS4 demo on the PS5 store, and I believe there's also a demo for the Switch, and there may even be one for the PC, which is like the prologue. I think on the Switch it's just the prologue, and on the PS4, PS5, it's the prologue and Chapter 1. And so I actually started playing this before the 5th. So when I'm saying 70 hours, that's since I bought the game, which doesn't count the prologue and Chapter 1, which I played before the game arrived. I love it. Now, you know I love the Trails of Steel game. There you go, look. Trails of Cold Steel. Got my Reen Schwarzer shirt on. Love those games. And there were 5 of them. Well, we don't know for sure, but we know there's going to be another one, another Calvert game that's already been released. These games are fantastic. As I explained in this video, a lot of people didn't like the earlier games because they were the like little, 32-bit sprites, the little tiny people. And it used to play on the PSP. That's how long ago these games came out. But with this game, they have rewritten their engine. So the graphics are all a step above where they were. Graphics, better than the previous Trails games. Music, on a par. I don't think it quite hits the highs of some of the earlier music. But I mean, these composers have been scoring games. This is their 11th game. So maybe they've run out of ideas. But there's some good music. There's especially some nice jazz music and background music. The music's good. But the story, and that's where these games shine, is the story. And the story is as fantastic as any game that has come before it. And you kind of start getting into it sooner. Like in the original Trails in the Sky, I think the first half of the game, you're primarily just running side quests. But in this game, yeah, you start off running side quests, but you start hitting main quests like right away, and things start lurching forward and things happen. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's a simple story that gets incredibly complicated. And as you saw in the art book, if you watch that part, lots of characters. Nothing like Tales into Reverie where you had like 100 playable characters. No, this is you end up with 8 playable characters, and then there's a few guest characters that come in and fight with you on occasions. So there's quite a few characters that you get to play as. Now, gameplay. This is where they've made the biggest change from the previous games. The previous games, all the battles were turn-based. Go into battle and you'd start, take your turns. Well, this has that, but they've added an action element so that you can do field battles in the dungeons where you don't go into turn-based. You just run around hitting things and dodging. There are even achievements for dodging well, because if you get perfect dodges, you get a little extra. And this becomes really handy later on. If you've played these games before, when you have low-level enemies and you have to go just slog through them with that turn-based combat, it's so annoying. Well, with this, you can do the field-based battles, the action battles. You can knock out the lesser monsters just in seconds. Just bam, 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 they're dead. Move on to the next one. Bam, 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 they're dead. It's a fantastic system, which right now you're probably looking at. For the harder enemies, you have to go into the turn-based system, the command system. But they've completely changed that. In the earlier games, if you hit them from behind on the field, you started with an advantage. Well, now if you stun them, you can go into the command battle with an advantage. But here's where it gets really great. The previous games, you had links, combat links, where you would have someone, you would link with another character, and they could support you or do extra damage or all these other things. Well, they still have that, except they're dynamic. Characters have like a ring around them, and if you touch their rings, they light up, and then they're linked. And then they can do damage in concert and support each other and shield each other and do all the kind of things that the link system did in the previous games, except now you can switch just by moving. And the command system, it's no longer you just stand in place. It's all positional based. So you run around and get into position, and like certain attacks will have bonuses for side attack and back attack. And so you move around. So you say, oh, I get a back attack bonus. But in order to get the back attack bonus, you can't be linked because you have to be standing next to someone to link to them. So it gets into all sorts of strategies. It's just tons of fun. It's way more fun than the turn-based battles in the previous games. I love the 3D element where you have to position everybody so that you can get maximum damage and maximum help. And like all the previous games, starting with Trails in the Sky, so 10 games ago, they have combat orbments where you put quartz into these things and it gives you different capabilities. And that got more and more complicated over time. Well, they've changed it yet again. It's kind of like going back to the beginning, because which quartz you set in which slots, you get these bonus effects. So you can manage it. So if you get the right combination, you can get like HP regeneration at the end of a battle or at the beginning of a battle or in the middle of a battle. You can get EP generation. You can get all these special effects. My personal favorite is the weak enemy kill. So if you've got someone down to like 1 HP, and you got your quartz laid out right, well, a skill will unlock and kill them. So you don't have to go take another turn. So the battles are faster, they're faster paced, you run around. It's just delightful. Now, one of the things about the Trails games, since the very first one, is you have to go around and talk to all the NPCs. You just gotta, if you want to get into the whole game. And they all have things to say. And the things they say change over time. So you have all these stories. They have names, and you find out their stories, and then you come back like in the next chapter, and like things have changed, and they're telling you that, and you follow these stories, and then later on, sometimes they become part of the main story. So you have to run around and talk to everybody, which was a huge pain in the earlier games. Well, now, when you flip up the map, the people you can talk to are little yellow dots, and then after you talk to them, they turn into gray dots. So you know, just by glancing at the map, you know if you've talked to everybody. When you go up to them, they have something new to say. It'll have a little chat icon over them that'll be blue, and then you talk to them, and then if it stays blue, well, they're not done talking, so you then talk to them again, and then when it turns gray, then you've run through their entire speech for that, for that particular time you talk to them, because next time they'll have new stuff to say. It's a way better system, and they also now put icons so you know if there's like a sub-event or a side quest. No more hidden, well, they're still hidden side quests. They're not hidden from you exactly, but you have to look for them. So the last thing you do before you move on to the next thing is you run around to every area, hit the map, and look to see if there's any little blue or green or red icons left. Then you go take care of those. Make sure all the people dots are grayed out, you can move on. Another thing from the previous games they brought along was cooking, except it's a whole different system that I'm not even going to try to explain. But basically, you have to buy every food item from every shop in the game. And there's also cooking, except you no longer cook the way you did in the previous games. You don't have to guess who would be good at it. Each recipe is assigned to one of the characters, and they're the ones that cook that one. And you don't just cook whenever you feel like it. You cook it when you're in an inn. You can use the kitchen in the inn. You have a kitchen in your apartment. So you do the cooking. And then as you eat the things that you cook or that you bought, you get gourmet points. And when they start adding up, you start getting bonuses to your characters. And these are to all the characters. The highest level, which I just hit the other day, it gets you an extra 1,000 HP for all your characters. So, I mean, it's worth doing. Plus, all the food items, of course, have health effects. You can use them in battle. Some of them will give you CP back. I'm not going to go into all the mechanics, but I'll tell you that it's way easier in this game to launch S-crafts, the super moves. And they're a lot of fun, and they're pretty, and, well, I may show you one in the video that's running underneath what I'm talking about right now. It's just an amazing game. It's an improvement in almost every respect. Oh, speaking of improvements, fishing is gone. I have a platinum trophy in every Trails of Cold Steel game through Reverie except one. And the reason I don't have it for that one, there was a fish I just couldn't catch. I'm so mad. Well, this one, there's no fishing. You can eat fish, but you don't have to catch them. So basically, just improved in every respect imaginable. I like the fast travel system. They have like a to-do list, so you can keep track of all your subquests and bonding points. In previous games, you'd have to go find the people to start the bonding event. Well, now there's a to-do list, and here are the bonding events you can do, and you just click on it, and then it launches the scene, and you go have the fun, and then you come back to wherever you were. It's just so much better. Now, it's not perfect. Some of the areas are a little big, and you have to backtrack, and so there's a lot of running around, but R1 will let you sprint, and by the way, you don't have to hold it. You just tap it, and then you can run. And then there's also a high-speed mode, which they introduced in the previous games, so that you can be in high-speed mode and sprinting, so you can move pretty fast. If you're trying to do a speed run or you're in a hurry, you can move around pretty damn quick. There's always something. And the one thing that just really bites my butt in this game, they designed an NPC, and they fell in love with that design, and you see this character everywhere with different names. Color changes, but it's a girl in like a halter top with a baseball cap and ponytails, so it's obviously the same character drawing. Just the other day, I was in a thing, and I'm talking to this girl with the baseball cap who has some name, And then I walk across the street and there's the same girl, different color baseball cap, different color hair, with a different name. Now, there may be others, but they don't stand out like this. This one's like a sore thumb. It's really annoying because if you go watch all the other Trails games, these characters, especially the named NPCs, all have unique character art. No two look alike. They're all unique. And that is really my only complaint with this game. I really don't know how they could improve it. I mean, sure, go watch other people's reviews. I'm sure they have lots of suggestions. But they took everything I liked and kept it. They took stuff I didn't like fishing, and took it out. They took the command battle system, the turn-based battle system, and turned it into a hybrid thing where you can do both action and turn-based, or just action, or just turn-based. And then within the turn-based, there's movement and placement, and it doesn't cost you a turn. I can't even talk about the story. Well, because A, spoilers, and B, it is so complex. But that's the other thing they do. They do a really good job of leading you through both the gameplay with the tutorials, because they introduce things one at a time. So like in the prologue in the first chapter, almost every battle you're getting a lesson. You need them even if you played the game before, because things are slightly different, or in some cases a lot different. But they also do the same thing with the story. They kind of drag you along and drop hints. Now, the big question is, do you have to play all the other games first? No. You should, but you don't. But if you buy this game and love it, you can go back and at least play through the Cold Steel, which are almost as good. And if you catch that fish, I think it's Cold Steel 2, let me know. This game has been getting good reviews. It's getting like 8s and 9s out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10 because I'm a Trails fanatic, but looking at it objectively, which I really can't because I'm really a Trails fanatic, I'd give it a 9.5. It's not perfect, but it's close. Oh, I will tell you what's not perfect. The DLC cost. And so you can spend well over the cost of the game on the DLC. The game is $60. They have more than $60 worth of DLC. Now, I bought it all because I'm supporting them, but it rankled me a little. So that is Trails Through Daybreak. That is the unboxing. That is my review. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you've liked any of the previous games, especially the last few, the Trails Through Cold Steel and Reverie. This is just a fantastic, fantastic game. I love it. Well, I've been playing it almost non-stop since the beginning of July, and I promise you, as soon as I finish, I'm going to play through it a second time on New Game Plus, where you can bring over your levels and everything. But that's it for today. Trails Through Daybreak, phenomenal game. Best Legend of Heroes game ever, in my opinion. I can't wait for the next one, which of course now is at least a year away. Because remember I told you they had to run out and talk to everybody? They have to translate all that dialogue. But that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye. And now I'm going back to finish my first playthrough and start my second playthrough. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.